The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Michael Heater, filling in for Mitchell Gunner and the Byron Bagwell. Great to have you along. Tonight's show sponsored by the Mitchell Gunner Racing Team. Be sure to follow our favorite NHRA Division II Summit ET Sportman Racer as he tears up the tracks in the southeastern United States. Follow Mitchell on Facebook for the latest. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our quote of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for the beginning of this year, January 4th, 2022, as the On the Spot team with David Rodgers is bringing you the first show of the year. Bless this show, dear Lord. Bless us as we bring information to our viewers, and our viewers taking that information and seeing and doing what they need to do with it, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, dear Lord. Thank you for our armed forces, each and every one of those men and women that fight for our freedoms and our rights, fighting against domestic and international terrorism, dear Lord. Thank you. Keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them home safely to their families. Thank our first responders, dear Lord, each and every one of them that are at work tonight, that work all day, dear Lord, to keep us safe from all the domestic things that are going on in the United States and in our communities and everywhere else, dear Lord. As they are always there, we can sleep safe at night knowing that they are watching over us. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day. It goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, touch each and every one of them. You're the ultimate healer, the ultimate comforter. Please, please touch each and every one of them. Miracles do and can happen through you, dear Lord. Also, anybody that's working in the trucking industry and things like that, dear Lord, just the American workforce, please keep a hedge of protection over them as they're doing the right things to make our country continue to grow. Also, dear Lord, thank you for this week. Thank you for this day. Thank you for the things that you're going to do for us at the beginning of this year and the rest of it. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. Amen. All right. Let's stand for our pledge, please.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he'll lead us, please.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right, Mr. Bagwell, what do you have for us tonight as far as the quote?
Well,
oh boy. Yeah. Well, the Byron Bagwell, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
that's right. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, or military consequences of the lie. It is thus vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state.
Wow. Long one, interesting. I'm going to say that was said by Mark Levin.
I'm going to say Karl Marx.
I have no idea.
All right, let me take a guess because you gave me a dirty look when I said
I
Mark
gave
Levin.
you a really dirty look.
Yeah, Colin Powell.
No, this is no American.
Oh.
This is no American at all. The closest guess was Marx.
Winston Churchill.
No. This is not somebody.
This is not somebody that's good.
This is not somebody that's good at all.
Stalin.
So we've got Stalin and Marx.
Stalin and Marx is where I was.
Yeah,
I was
Stalin.
thinking more of Karl Marxism, but yeah.
David, you want to go Leningrad?
No, well, you're
Lenin?
no, you're wrong group of socialists.
Okay.
So, okay.
The comments attributed Joseph Goebbels.
Really?
There's a reason that I bring that quote up about the big lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can
And
understand
if
why.
you don't know who Joseph Goebbels is, you need to actually look this man up. I'll give you a hint. He was a Nazi.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That quote's also been attributed to Hitler, but it's not him. I'm really not sure it's Goebbels either. Nobody
He's
could quite,
attributed to it, though.
nobody could quite figure out where that come from, but it came from that group in that era.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Great quote, by the way, Byron. Yeah, absolutely had me fooled for sure. Usually, we're pretty good at guessing these, but that was a very good quote, by the way. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I'm going to acknowledge everybody here in just a few minutes. Welcome to the show. Michael Heater sitting in for Mitchell Gunner. Hey, the Byron Bagwell sitting in for
Good evening,
himself.
everybody.
Dave Holland back there producing. Dave, how about it?
Yay.
Hey, somebody told me to ask you about this word.
Oh, God.
Fulfillment. What is that about?
Fulfillment,
Yes.
love.
Love, yeah.
Exciting and new.
Yeah, there you go.
Comable.
All right, anyway, we're moving on.
Expecting you.
Fix to get off the rails. Hey, don't go anywhere because the 360 starts right now.
Love.
This is the 360 News and Weather Update. It is 360 degrees in just 360 seconds. Tonight brought to you by Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave Holland and Company, 904-964-3338. By the way, extended hours now. Open days 7 days a week, right?
Yes.
7 days a week. What's your hours on Sunday?
11 to 4.
11 to 4 on Sunday. So if you're not doing anything Sunday, go get your hair cut.
Yeah.
There you go. We begin with breaking news out of Bradford County as firefighters buy out all-day mobile home in Brooker this afternoon. That's a mobile home fire in Brooker this afternoon. Nobody was injured in the fire located on Testone Avenue, but the home is deemed a total loss. Wow. The state fire marshal is still investigating. Down to Marion County, where a barking dog is credited with saving his owner from a house fire overnight. Ocala firefighters battled the mobile home in the Villas at Spanish Oak shortly after midnight. There were no injuries. That is why we have the most beloved animal in the world, and that's a dog. Man, he will never stray you. You want to talk about your dog, Byron? Never mind. Also in Marion County, sticking there, a 23-year-old Ocala man died in a crash early this morning. The FHP says a car was speeding on Southwest 186 course south of Southwest 31st Street when the car lost control, Byron, crossed the road, and then hit two trees head on. The driver, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was ejected.
So seatbelts are good. That
Hey,
saves lives every
seatbelts
day.
got to have it. The investigation continues until a helicopter crash, ladies and gentlemen, that killed a family of four in Levy County near Bronson last Thursday night. Ronald Hicks, 36, Shelley Hicks, 32, and their kids, 8-year-old Parker and 5-year-old Jalen, all perished in this crash. Yeah. Our prayers go out to this family. Really, that's devastating loss.
It was. As a matter of fact, the family members were related to one of the detectives for the Levy County Sheriff's Office. So they're all feeling the results of this one. Our prayers, again, not just to the family, but to the extended family there in Levy County as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Up to Lake City, where a 16-year-old is recovering from a gunshot wound to the leg yesterday on Northeast Martin Luther King Street. Lake City police are asking anyone with any information, David, regarding the incident to contact them at 386-752-4343.
And
Hey,
you can remain.
I can remain anonymous.
There you go.
That's the latest news from around the region. Now, here's your weather forecast. Fulfillment.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Mike Leader filling in for Austin on the weather forecast. Now, we had some really warm temperatures as we moved into the end of the year. Of course, New Year's Day was a beautiful day. I myself am partial to New Year's Day, effective now. But we had a cold front that moved through Sunday night, and boy, you could sure feel it yesterday and into today. The temperatures have started to cool off a little bit, but they'll start to moderate a little bit. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Some pollen numbers for you, just so you know. We started off, the numbers have been on the increase. These numbers here tell the story. Looking for numbers to actually be higher than this starting in the next few days like that. And for those of us that have pollen and allergy conditions, we're going to feel it. I can promise you. You'll know it as we go through the next few days. The regional forecast, though, is what we're worried about, because while we have cold air that's moved into the area, there's another chance of temperatures changing as we move along. You can see Pascagoula at 54 degrees. That is pretty cool for this time of year anywhere. But along the Gulf Coast, they're starting to notice that one. These are highs tomorrow, folks. Highs in the 40s from Nashville, Atlanta, up to Charlotte. Meanwhile, down in Florida, beautiful conditions. 73 degrees under sunny skies in Orlando. Locally for us, though, we're looking at what's going to be probably some of the best weather we've seen in a while. Humidity levels are going to be a little bit lower, and the highs in the 70s, dropping off to 60s on Friday. Lows are once again in the mid-40s under partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies as we make our way through the week. No chance of rain in the forecast now. There is another chance of rain coming in with a cold front that's expected to move through next week. We'll have more on that as we progress. Austin, of course, has the weather forecast being up to date all the time. Make sure you log into Austin's Weather Service, follow him on Facebook, and you can always send him a note with your zip code. He'll send you a detailed weather forecast just for you. That is the latest from Austin's Weather Service. Dave, we're throwing it back to you.
Thank you, Mike, for that great weather report. We'll also have that weather report there to the end of the show, just in case you missed it. So he is filling in for Austin Stevens. Got a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I do want to take this time. I hope he's watching. I want to wish Donald Stevens a recovery. He is battling some issues right now, and we want to pray that God intervenes and touches his body and his soul. Absolutely. And that he'll have a full recovery. Donald, we love you here, and also we love you, Austin, as well.
There you go.
With the new year, we are back with trivia on Wednesday night at Fun Point. You backed it up to 7 o'clock, right?
Yes, we start at 7 o'clock on Wednesday nights at Fun Point.
All right, that's showtime start, right?
Showtime
That's
starts
first
7 o'clock.
question.
That's right.
And then Thursday night at the Downtown Grill, we're back, 7:30. We start there. There is no trivia answer this week, David. I had already done the trivia questions because we were supposed to do it last Thursday, and we didn't have a show, so I just went on ahead and did it. So, straight up questions. I will tell you, it's a little smorgasbord of everything like Michael's got. Yeah. So, just be prepared and be ready as you do both trivia nights, Wednesday at Fun Point and Thursday at the Grill.
That's it.
All right. And now, Dave, here's everyone's favorite segment that brings back a little history. Hey, would you say this is probably our most popular segment, right? Besides with what we talk about.
Yeah, but we get a lot of feedback from the audience, and this segment, just like the rest of our show, is for you guys. Yeah. We need your input. We want your input. We want you to interact with us. So yes, this is by far one of the best segments here. Now, I will say that with everything that was happening,
right?
Okay, we've got the fire helmet. But we're going to draw next Tuesday night for
All
our
right.
December winner.
Okay, yep.
And we're looking forward to that. So make sure you stay with us because next Tuesday night we're going to be drawing a winner for The $25 gift certificate from
the Downtown Grill.
There you go.
So we'll have all that for you next Tuesday.
Yep.
But now here's everyone's favorite segment. Like I said, that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners. Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis, and the Bradford County Telegraph. John Miller, John Ryan Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course, Cliff Smelly. Here's what's the date. These are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the first week of January in what year? 2 fires damage homes over holidays. Woman hit girlfriend with car during fight. Interesting. Residential building up. New commercial slows. Was that January, Byron, of 2017, January of 2018, or January of 2019? You already know the answer. How about that, huh? All right. Hey, all right, no problem. We'll come back. There we go. 2 fires damage homes over holidays. Woman hit girlfriend with car during fight. Residential building up. New commercial slows. How about that? Was that January of 2017? That's the first week of January of 2017, 2018, or 2019? Hey, I'll read the first one. Mike, you read the second one. B, you read the third one. Okay. Fire damaged 2 homes between Christmas and New Year's Day, but there were no injuries. The first fire on State Road 100 Southeast 21st Avenue destroyed the brick home, while the second fire burnt the roof off a home on Southeast 3rd Avenue at the Bradford-Clay County line in Keystone. Thank God there were no injuries in either one of those fires.
Exactly right. Hey, a Jacksonville woman was arrested in Lodi for kidnapping her former girlfriend after hitting her with a vehicle. 18-year-old Desiree Mincy was arrested at the Fast Track gas station in Lodi after fleeing from Alachua County deputies, and they caught up to her on 301.
More than 30 permits were pulled for an unincorporated Bradford County, up from the previous years, but they were mostly new residential constructions, while commercial development fell flat compared to previous years.
There's some information for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you play, as Michael and Byron and Dave said, your chance to win a ticket. You get your name put in where you can win at the end of the month a $25 gift card from the Downtown Grill, which you could use on Thursday nights if you want. You can use it on Friday night. You can use it on Saturday. We don't care when you use it. Right. It's up to you when you use it. Again, here's the headlines. 2 fires damage homes over the holidays. Woman hit girlfriend with car during the fight. Residential building up. New commercial slows. Was that January of 2017, January of 2018, or January of 2019?
Every time you say woman hit girlfriend with car, all I can hear is Hulk smash in my head.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry.
The Byron Bagwell's car. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
The bad.
You're bad, beat. Here. All right. I'm gonna get some guys here. Sheila Lyons, welcome in. Dwight Allen, good evening, my fellow Patriot brother. Roger the Tornado Cruz. Let me stop, by the way. I've got to say, me and Roger played for the Super Bowl championship this weekend for the BFFL Fantasy Football League.
Really?
We did, and Roger beat me.
Really?
143, 127.
Really?
No excuses.
Nice
But,
job, Roger.
hey, congratulations, Roger Cruz. He gets his name on the Super Bowl trophy. No excuses, but I didn't have a running back. I was down 1 running back. I should have played Hunter Renfro, which got me 20 points, which if I'd have played him, I'd have beat Roger by half a point.
Wow.
So guess what? You just don't know what to do in some of those things, right? You don't know. It's about matchups. Yeah. It's about matchups and what goes on. But anyway, I'll talk about fantasy football later. But anyway, congratulations. And if this announcement does come through, our very own Michael Heater, I don't know how it's going to affect the show, but we may not have him for a couple of Tuesdays here and there. I'll just give you that much of a hint. So during the month, but plenty of adequate people to step in. Mitchell Gunner can step in, Dave can step in, Byron. We'll all cover that. But anyway, Dave, we're still down on the sound as well. Not sure what's going on. We've got people saying they still can't hear anything. But anyway, I want to go to the table here. Byron, what do you say?
Okay, we're back up.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're back up now.
Dwight says he can hear us.
All right.
There you
All
go.
right, guys. I just wanted to let everybody know that
Yeah.
a lot of times you'll see me answering comments to people
Yes.
and liking what their comments are and doing
Yeah, it's
things
probably
like
a good
that.
thing that you need to explain.
I had an issue with Facebook here about a week and a half ago, and people started receiving friend requests from me that were already my friends. Couldn't get into Messenger. I had problems. I finally got into my account and reset it, and when I did, it completely kicked me out of Facebook, and there for about 4 or 5 days I was not on Facebook at all.
Right.
Now that it's back, I can get back on Messenger and I can actually post stuff to my site and to the On the Spot with David Rodgers site. But unfortunately, I cannot get comments
Right.
when the show is on. So I'm not seeing anybody's comments. I have no clue who's on or any of that other stuff that I normally try to do during the show.
Well, we're Byron, and let's tell everybody we're sharing comments here. So if you want to get a hold of Byron, or you want to throw something to Byron, or you want Byron to answer something, let me know. We're right here together, so you can hit me up, and of course I'll see it, because On the Spot with David Rodgers goes to all of us.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, we'll see all the
I
comments.
see the likes and the loves, the thumbs ups and the loves and the laughs and
Right.
stuff like that, but it's just a blank
You're not
screen.
seeing the words. Yeah,
There's no
you're just not
comments
seeing-
on,
right.
on my feed at all for some reason. So
All right, let's go to your guess. 17, 18, or 19?
I'm going to go 18.
You're going to go 18. David?
I'm gonna go with the man over there.
Okay.
I'm totally lost, but
All right, none of them recollect anything for you?
Hulk smash.
All right, so y'all are going 2018. Michael, you can't answer because Michael wrote it up. I'm going 2018 as well. Something tells me, I think it's the one, that middle one, it really throws me right there, the one that Michael read. So I'm going, Mitchell Gunner said 2017, but he can't win because he's part of the show, but he said 2017. So I'm going 2018. Guys, I hope all your answers are in. Hope you can still hear us. Again, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers, the Byron Bagwell, right here, the Dragon Slayer. No, fantastic. Michael Heater. He's got away from the Dragon Slayer, the newlywed, by the way, Michael Heater. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. There he is, the producer of the show, Dave Holland. By the way, Dave,
yes, sir.
I want you to explain to everybody about this baseball thing that you were in back in 1999 in the California Penal League.
Well,
Never mind, Dave. Don't worry about it, man. We'll get into that here in just a little bit.
It was completely
Listen,
fulfilling.
Yes, it was completely fulfillment. Fulfillment. Melissa Crimson says 18. All right, are you ready? All right, let's get our drum roll, please. Michael, hit it. It's January of 2018. If you said that, yeah, we're in the ball game. The other two, I wasn't really sure of, but when you read that second one, that sort of struck out to me, and that's why I figured it was 2018. So if you said 2018, you do get your name put into the fire helmet, and at the end of the month, we will draw a winner for January for the $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill. As you heard Michael Heater say, next Tuesday, we'll have the fire helmet. Everybody that won in December will get put in there for the $25 gift card there.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can I get the name of that French lawyer?
Yes, you can.
Ponche.
Dominique Chaponche?
Yeah, and his phone number, please.
Yes, you can. I'll give it to you.
Because I'm going to protest.
You're going to protest?
I should have had my name in this hat a bunch of times, and it's not going in the hat.
Okay. Yeah, I can give it. Yeah, sure. Yep. No problem. I'll give it. You know, Dwight Allen says finally got one right. Well, if you remember there for a while when we first started doing
he
this,
was getting everything
Dwight
right.
Allen was winning every week, and then he got on a bad streak. He didn't, you know what I mean? He went, but he finally got one. He's going to have his name in the hat at least for January. Can't say about the rest of the month there, Dwight, but hey, at least you'll have it in for this month. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. Hey, we've still got local stuff coming up.
Yep.
We've still got some national things coming up. And I want to tell a little story about a guy that I met today. Hey, just real quick before Michael starts here in a minute, and you're going to love his name, and I swear to you, it's his real name.
Was it Jed?
Almost.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Community happenings and topics with our own local voice on current events, Mr. Mitchell Gunter.
Well, I'm no Mitchell, but I will try to do my very best to fill in some pretty big shoes. Mitchell, of course, feeling a little under the weather tonight. Mitchell, we wish you well. We're looking forward to having you back here as soon as we can. Want to go ahead and lead off with a couple of stories that Mitchell had been working on. He's been feeding us some information, and he'll probably pop in with some more comments as we go along as well. New permits for single-family housing was actually down from previous years in the Stark area, but we're still seeing a lot of new construction, especially in the Keystone Heights area. So with that, plus some new building permits that were coming in, we're looking at 66 new permits that came into the area beginning from 2021, which is a bit of an increase over from 20. Now, commercially, there are some new construction that's been going in here. A lot of people have been talking about it. Leading the way has been the Holiday Inn Express, which is going in on 301 South. And, of course, the new middle school and elementary school going in on 144th Street, Mullins Grade, for those of you that know that. That is expected to open in the fall of 2023. So give it another year and a half or so, and that's when that's going to be kicking in. Faith Baptist Church, new construction. They've built their new church at 1509 North Temple Avenue, located right on 301. It's going to be just south of the old Florida Times Union building, for those of you that know where that is, across from the conference center. Beautiful building. They are finishing that up as well. It looks really good as they're making their way there. Some moves have been discussed. Pizza Hut, of course, is relocating.
Yep.
They're moving out. They'll be moving into the Deerfoot Plaza, is what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as Subway and Stark, they're looking at going. Aldi's, of course, is still coming in.
Right.
There's been some question about the hiring process, and so that's the reason why it hasn't opened yet. But that is still moving forward with everything that's been going on. And the City Commission did approve the new Sporty's Express car wash, which is going in where Futch's equipment used to be next to Ace Hardware. That is expected in the next few months as well. Also a reminder that T-Mobile, the grand opening for the new T-Mobile, where Whataburger used to be right there at the Walmart, is going to be opening on January 14th at 10 a.m. Those of you that have T-Mobile service, make sure you turn out January 14th to see the new store opening in Stark.
Hey, let me, before you read that,
Yeah.
Michael, I heard some news today as well. The new Whataburger, I heard that has been purchased by somebody, an owner of several Applebee's, and I hear that there's an Applebee's going to be right there where the Whataburger is going to be at, and it's coming very shortly, possibly this year. I did hear that news. I don't know if any of y'all guys heard it. Yep. They're the property, the deal has been done,
very good.
and it sounds like Applebee's is going to be right down there, of course, where the Whataburger used to be, right there by the Florida Credit Union. So hopefully that kicks in and it still goes.
That'll be a good thing,
that will
because
add.
Applebee's has got good food.
Yeah, well, and it'll also, too, we got Beef O'Brady's up here on the north side of town, you know what I mean? And down on the south end, that would be great for the Applebee's. They'd be in competition, of course, but it's not that close, you know what I mean? It's still some space.
They just put a T-Mobile right there in that same building.
Yeah, so it might be new construction. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I have an in with some of the folks at the city. I'll have to ask and see what see if there's any permits or anything that's been pulled.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
so honey, giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There you go.
just give you about that.
Oh.
Hey, the Della Rosenberg Memorial Garden is going to be dedicated coming up on January 12th. Now, this is a new dedication of a garden area located at the Women's Club there in Stark, 201 North Walnut Street. The dedication is open to the public. Refreshments will be served. And again, this is January 12th. It'll be from 1:30 to 2:30 at the Women's Club. The public's invited to attend. I encourage everyone to come out and see the new Memorial Garden dedication. Hey, Kiwanis Poker Tournament is scheduled for January 21st at the Downtown Grill. The proceeds will be used to help provide the meal at the 2022 Youth Steer Swine Buyers Dinner as part of the 2022 Bradford County Agricultural Fair. They encourage you to come out for a great night, and you'll get to support Kiwanis, the fair, 4-H, and FFA. Again, that's the Kiwanis Poker Tournament, scheduled for January 21st at the Downtown Grill. For those of you that don't know him, which is few and far between, Jerry Feltner, of course, sworn in as the new Lottie Police Chief last night with family, friends, and Sheriff Gordon Smith in attendance. He won the election back on December 7th, and took over the role as the Lottie Police Chief. There's been some personnel changes. Jerry's going to make some changes as well. Looking forward to seeing how that progresses with the new administration coming into play in the city of Lottie. City Commission was meeting tonight at 5:30. A couple of things that they discussed. They did secure an agreement with Moore and Company for auditing services for the city of Stark. There's also an extension of the agreement with Clarion for finance and accounting services, and an agreement with Amelia Building Maintenance for cleaning services within the city. There's been some talk about redistricting. That was going to be on the docket for tonight. There was also a discussion about local mitigation strategies. That has been postponed for 2 weeks. That will be at the next commission meeting. Mitchell, of course, will have more information on that as we make our way through on that one. So basically, that's what we got from a lot of the local stuff. I know you said you wanted to hit on a couple. I don't know if you have some local sports stuff that you want to hit on, but that, for the most part, is what we've got for the scoop. Dave, why don't you go ahead and see what you got? You got anything going on there?
Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break right here, and then we'll come back to that.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Putting together is probably one of the most proactive measures being taken across the country. And it's interesting because even with the surge of Omicron, that he is still steadfast in his efforts not to lock down the citizenry that they are starting to experience in other places. I can tell you that they're gunning hard for the cruise industry based in Florida. The governor is fighting very hard to try to prevent that from happening. Unfortunately, that's a little bit out of his purview in certain situations. But Governor DeSantis is really trying to take the bull by the horns on working on getting everyone past this latest variant of Omicron.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I was on there trying to get the notes here, but Mitchell also posted that Governor DeSantis stated about the mask, right? About the mask mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not signing off on that pretty much.
No, he wasn't.
Period. Yeah, no, he wasn't at all.
As a matter of fact, he had some people arrested today for trying to break into one of his press conference. It was a private press conference. They were told to leave multiple times. They decided that they weren't going to do that it was their right to protest and be heard. And
that's exactly
after
right.
they were heard 3 or 4 times, they were slapped in cuffs and put in the back of police cars. So.
Well, there you go. So, also, I just wanted to tell you right here. Oh, real quick. Yeah, there it is. Breaking news. Alachua County School District requiring all adults will be required to wear masks in their schools. Students will not be required to follow the guidelines. Love the little notice with the face mask required there, Mike. Good pull up there. So, anyway, this thing is, what I don't like about it is
Look.
There's some places, oh, we're making you do it. Some places, nah, they don't care if you do it. And then, of course, there's Governor Ron DeSantis, who's supposed to be running this state and supposed to be taking care of us, which he does, and I think he does an outstanding job. He's saying, hey, I'm not signing off on none of that garbage.
Here's a perfectly logical question for you. That this is the way somebody that I talked to recently put it. People that are having fits about masks, you need to wear a mask.
Right.
Are they generally vaccinated? Do they generally wear masks themselves? So if somebody else is not wearing a mask and they're vaccinated and they're masked and all of that stuff is supposed to work the way it's supposed to work, why are you worried about somebody that's not wearing a mask?
Yeah.
It's not gonna bother you, which is nonsense because the vaccines don't work the way they're supposed to, and the mask can't work the way we've been told they're supposed to.
Right.
Remember the big lie?
Yeah, the big lie. Yeah.
The big lie quote from Goebbels.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I brought
Yes.
that tonight. Because look, you cannot stop a virus particle with a paper mask. It does not work.
That does not work.
The N95 masks are the only masks that have been proven to be
Yes.
effective for any type of viral infection. And this includes...
Besides a respirator.
Right, well, it's
Yeah.
just from respirator.
Yeah.
But that includes anything like that. And so for them to sit here and go, oh, the paper masks or this or that or whatever like that one, it laughs in the face of, quote, science.
Yeah.
because there's the real science,
Right.
and then there's the political science.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. They have quit talking about whether this is aerosolized or not.
Correct.
Right.
We have no clue whether this is how this is transmitted anymore, and that's on purpose. Because if they really wanted us to know whether we were being safe or not, we would know whether this is transmitted like the flu is transmitted, or whether it's transmitted through spitlets, droplets.
Right.
It's not actually floating around in the air. And they're not telling us this. I mean, I can tell you I've been exposed at least 3 times that I know of, and probably more than that I don't know of, and I've never caught it. And I wasn't wearing the correct personal protective equipment because
Right.
they sent me home 3 times.
I want to go over a couple of things here real quick. Come dine at Beef O'Brady's and start Thursday, January the 6th now. That's this Thursday, January 6th from 4 to 8. Mitchell Gunner, wait on that call here. Okay, we're back up. So anyway, the guy, I'm talking to him, he's trying to sell me a brace of wheels, all kinds of things. And I said, by the way, what's your name? Michael, Byron, Dave. I'm telling you, I would absolutely have to hit my dad in the gut, and I'd have to do something to my mom. This guy's name was Harry Crack. C-R-A-C. But Harry Crack. Look at Byron. I'm sorry, man, Michael. Yes.
I am trying to keep.
I know you're
Good
trying
Lord,
to get David. I swear, his name.
Are you kidding me?
Harrycrac. And he told me, just like I'm looking at you, he said, my name is Harry Crack. Byron, I've got a seat like this in the office. I said, I got man, and I didn't realize. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. He goes, don't worry about it. He says, I get this all the time.
Yeah.
How could you name your child Harry Crack?
Got me, man.
Or how about this one? Phil McCracken.
No. Oh, Lord!
I don't know which is worse
tonight.
Well, how about Harry? Think Harry Crack is bad enough?
That's bad enough.
Oh,
Good
God.
Lord. Are you kidding me?
All right.
All right, let's get
Mitchell on.
Let's see if we get Mitchell on the phone.
Please get Mitchell on the phone.
There he is.
What up, Mitchell?
Comes after us.
How you feeling? Mitchell?
Yes, how y'all doing today?
Hey, how's it going,
Good.
buddy? How you feeling?
Feel a little better, still a little bit under the weather. But Michael, you were showing the wrong medicine. I didn't need that medicine. I need a Pepto-Bismol.
Oh,
Well, that was on the other aisle. I'll make sure we get you squared away.
that's all right. You may need some cough drops to go along with that stomach ache anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Right. But one thing I wanted to call in, we had actually had another traffic accident this afternoon on the south end of the bypass. And with that happening, I have already been in touch with Senator Bradley's office yesterday, and we're going to be trying to make some changes to the traffic signals there, because the current delay is 2 seconds. If you pull up to a traffic signal and your light is red,
Right.
when the other area's light turns red, there's a 2-second delay and your light turns green.
Right.
So we're going to see if they can reprogram those PLCs and those signal cabinets to make it a 5-second delay. So
Yeah.
for 3 seconds, all of those lights will remain red before your light turns green, and see if we can slow down some of those traffic accidents. And, I thought I'd give Representative Bobby Payne a little break. He's done a lot of things for me, trying to get some roads fixed, getting the speed limits lowered out there on the bypass. Would have like to see them a little bit lower than 55. I was shooting for 45, but they did lower them down to 55. And maybe if they can make some adjustments to the traffic signal controllers there, maybe that little bit 3-second more delay may help from those accidents from happening, of people running those red lights. And we can set deputies out there, but deputies can't stay out there 24/7 to write tickets at traffic signals. We have too much other stuff going on in the county. But
Hey, Mitchell,
maybe this is one way that we can fix it.
Mitchell, one of the things too as well, you talked about putting police officers out there, this and that. Hey, you have to look in the mirror. You got to take responsibility yourself too. You got to look and see what's coming at you. I'll tell you what, I always wait, especially at a turn signal, and making sure that nobody's coming. I swear to God, I don't care who's honking behind me. I'm going to wait until all those cars stopped on that other side of the road. So we got to take some responsibility as well on this too. You've got to make sure you're making the right decision. Let me tell you what's going on here. Everybody's in a hurry to get nowhere. And that's the
That
dadgum
is
problem.
exactly right.
Everybody thinks they've got a haul tail to get somewhere. How many times have you done this? Michael, I know you've done it. Byron, man, you're riding along, you're cruising 55. Here comes a car. Wow! 65, 70 past you. Guess what? There's a light right up there. Guess who you're behind?
Oh yeah, same car.
Same car. Now he's got to stop at a red light. People are in a hurry to get absolutely nowhere. And that's what causes all these accidents that we're having, because we are not paying attention as drivers.
Normally, the majority of those
Right.
go right on up 301 south and then turn off on 24 and go about 10 minutes from there. Oh, okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, and I actually, David, I actually have video of Sunday. I turned my camera on my phone to just see if someone would run that light so I could present that information to Senator Bradley's office. Turned on the phone, pulled up there to the light. I'm waiting for the arrow to turn green for me to go. The light turns green for me to go, and here comes this truck flying right through there, not even slowing down a bit.
Well, Mitchell, right there on the south end of the bypass, I drove by that accident just before ambulance was even getting there. And one of those cars had the whole rear end smashed in. Now, when you're heading south on this bypass, you got 70 miles an hour down to 60, down to 55, and then all of a sudden, here's this red light. These tractor trailers are going too fast to slow down. They usually end up almost past the light as the people coming out of the city is making their turn. It's scary.
Mitchell,
Yeah.
It is very scary, and the thing is, I believe DOT spaced those signs out correctly for people to get down the 55. Even the tractor trailers should have no problem getting down the 55 the way that they're spaced out. Even though there are 45 mile an hour speed limits there's no reason for anybody being doing 65 to 70 miles an hour through that traffic light.
No.
And a lot of them are still doing that, and their idea is like, I'm going to beat that light, and they're not thinking about the people who are going to be pulling out when their traffic signal turns green.
So Mitchell, I have a question for you. I love the idea of switching it from 2 to 5 seconds for the full red. While they're doing that, do you think we could get the yellow light extended maybe a second longer as well? The yellow light is usually 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Maybe if we give a longer yellow, then that would get people that are further out, they might have a chance to slow down or something like that. I don't want people running yellow lights, but if they see it from a distance and it changes and it stays yellow longer, perhaps that might also encourage them to slow down.
That's actually a really good idea, and I'll mention that to Jennifer Bradley's office, to her legislation aide. Very nice people up there to talk to in the Orange Park office. And I've even told the aide that I would be willing to reach out to our sheriff, and I knew Sheriff Smith would be on board with it. Is me, her, and the sheriff to have a meeting and with FDOT and see if we can do something like that. And I think it will actually help. Is it going to stop everybody running the red light? No, we're still going to have idiots out there that's going to blow through it no matter what. But it may slow down the amount of traffic accidents. I mean, we are working our EMTs and our firefighters like crazy at both the south end and the north end of that bypass every single day. I mean, every time you turn around, there's a traffic crash at either one of those bypasses, those intersections.
So, well, Mitchell, hey, I appreciate that, buddy. I hope you get the feeling better, brother. Getting ready to have Mr. Byron Bagwell come on and talk here a little bit before we close the show down. And stay tuned, man, because I want to get your pick for the national championship game. But we'll talk about that as soon as Byron gets done with this segment.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you.
Are you
It's
sure?
Georgia.
You want
It's
Georgia?
Georgia.
All right.
Georgia's hungry. I think they played a better offense and defensive game, even though they played Michigan and
We'll just go ahead and do this now.
and I'll tell you, they really took it to Michigan early, and I think if they take it to Alabama like they did Michigan, Nick Saban's going to have his work cut out for him if they get behind, and I don't know if they can catch up if they get behind.
Well, without Mechie, I don't think they can, but we'll discuss that as we come to that segment as soon as Byron gets done, because I want the audience to get involved. I want you to tell me, audience, if you're still on, which we still got quite a few on here, I want you to tell me who's going to win that national championship game. I'll write your pick down. Alabama or Georgia next Monday night. And I want to talk to you guys about something. Do you remember the last time we did this show on the national championship game? Remember how we broke it down? Mm-hmm. Would y'all be willing? I know we wanted to have a meeting. Would y'all be willing to have a special national championship show and let's break this game down?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
On Monday night, let's call it 6:30, maybe an earlier start because the game starts at 8.
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
Y'all want to do that? I tell you what, we'll do that. We'll post it up.
We've even got all the props, the screen like that.
Yeah, we can break it down, and I'll break it. We'll break all the yes. Well, we can we can point up to the yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we've got the tools to do this. I'll get some breakdown for you. We'll break it all down. Y'all do y'all's research on it too, and we'll have let's call it an hour show, an hour national championship preview game between Alabama and Georgia. Deal?
Sure. Deal.
Next Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. It's approved by the producer and director. We're going to have a national championship show. We're going to break down. I'm going to talk about players. We're going to talk about schemes. We're going to talk about a little bit about everything that night on Monday night. And we'll still have a show on Tuesday. So, again, thank you guys for joining in. Mitchell, appreciate you. God bless you. Hey, hope you get better.
Hope you feel better, Mitchell.
And wait, we'll talk with you later on.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great show.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks,
all right, big guy. Hey, great job on that. By the way, we still got the weather coming up. You've got a couple of things you want to talk about, and we'll come up with the Byron Bagwell right after this commercial break.
Schuster & Sabin is the leading firm in Florida with 8 offices from the Panhandle to the Florida Keys to handle your claims for personal injury, workplace violations, and PIP claims for medical professionals. Visit us online at www.piplaw.com or call 24 hours a day at 877-511-7829. Schuster & Sabin Law Offices for all your legal needs.
And now, with the latest national and international update, here is Your World Report with Byron Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels, miscreants, patriots, and
Harry Crack.
It's going off rails tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple things that's going on in the national news that nobody's heard of. Guess what? It is national news. There has been only one group that actually has apologized about this. There has been a report that has come out from a certain prosecutor that was put on a certain person. It's come out and actually has now said that everything in the Steele dossier is, guess what? Absolutely fictitious.
Yes.
We have had one newspaper come out. One newspaper come out and actually apologize for printing that garbage out about Donald Trump. So now, a year after he was president, we finally figure out what went on in the election before that with the dossier that was made up by the Democrat Party. So they were playing dirty pool. And now that we know that, guess what? The media has buried it.
Right.
So are we talking about the big lie?
I know you've talked about the big lie.
That supposedly Goebbels talked about? Is that what we're talking about?
Could be. Could be.
Stalin and Lenin had similar quotes.
They did.
So where are we coming up with this? Where am I coming up with this? I'm coming up with this through historical
Data and facts.
data and facts.
Yeah.
And I'm comparing what a certain party in our country is doing compared to certain people in history. There's a reason why Mark Levin just came out with a book that is the #1 biggest seller this last year called American Marxism. It's because a certain party is really not a Democrat party anymore. They really are socialists, which is Marxist. Mm-hmm. So we have connections. Now we have things that are being proven false that they have come up with and lied to the American public about, that the media is burying, because guess what? They're lying to the American public too. So what do you do with that information? The only thing I know to do with it is to report it and actually get it out to some people. That's the only thing I know to do with certain things like that. I wanted to get y'all's input with something else too.
Okay.
This is a question for the audience, a question for everybody on the show. I want an answer as to who knows this. Whose responsibility is it to protect our government buildings, in particular the Congress? Whose responsibility is that? Does anybody know whose responsibility that is?
I believe I do.
I believe, internally, there's a sergeant at arms that kind of oversees
the sergeant at arms of the Congress.
Yes.
And then doesn't he kind of work with U.S. Capitol Police?
He works with U.S. Capitol Police, but the there's another answer to this, because the sergeant at arms of the Congress answers to one person, and it's not the president.
Mm-hmm. It's the CIA director?
Nope.
Is it the head of Secret Service?
Nope.
FBI?
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. There's your answer. Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the protection of the Congress. So we had a little insurrection that everybody blamed Republicans and Donald Trump on. Insurrection, my foot. That was no insurrection to begin with. One person died and they were shot by Capitol Police. They were unarmed. That's not an insurrection.
Byron, I've got a question for you. So the Master at Arms, is it a representative?
No.
Sergeant at Arms. I'm thinking of service. My bad.
The Sergeant at Arms is not an elected official. The Sergeant at Arms is an appointed official, and they normally have some sort of either police or military experience in security.
So usually that is usually a Capitol Police officer. A U.S. Capitol Police. See, this is where I'm going with this. Why, and like Michael said, why is he answering to Nancy Pelosi?
Because that's the way that is supposed to work. That is supposed to work. She is responsible for the Congress. She is the Speaker of the House. She is responsible for that building. She is responsible for the security in it. Now, that being said, how many people watching this show know that Donald Trump, before that rally, wanted the National Guard to be present at the Congress building?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many people here know that Pelosi, Scumbosi Pelosi, I despise this woman, I really do, she's nothing but a Marxist, refused to have the National Guard there because of optics, because she had just got finished bashing the Capitol Police and the National Guard for what they did during the riots. Mm-hmm. She refused the National Guard. If the National Guard had been there, do you think any of those people would have gotten inside that Capitol building?
Of course not.
No.
They fired the Sergeant of Arms. She fired the Sergeant of Arms before the Sergeant of Arms could say anything in Congress about who told her not to do what to do and what not to do. I believe one of the first things that needs to happen when the Republicans take back the Senate and the House, and that's coming.
Mm-hmm. the
That's
National
coming.
Guard was there, do you think there might be a higher fertility rate?
I don't think anybody would have gotten into that building at all.
Period. Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have gotten to that building at all, and it would all have been stopped outside, and with very minor incidents, because it would have been very minor, if anything at all, because they are really good at crowd control. So she refuses that because of optics. The Capitol Police basically let people into the Capitol building. And then all of a sudden it's an insurrection and it's all Donald Trump's fault. The man who offered the National Guard, you needed to get the National Guard here, you need to get them here, to the Speaker of the House, who refused to do her job, which was protect the Congress building. That is really the bottom line with that to anybody who should have a brain in their head. The woman did not fulfill, we've used that word before tonight, fulfill her duty as the Speaker of the House of the United States to protect our Capitol building, one of our Capitol buildings. And we want to look at Donald Trump and the Republicans and say anything about that? I think we've got our ideas screwed on wrong. Partly because people don't understand whose responsibility that was. That was not Donald Trump's. That was not the Capitol Police. That was Nancy Pelosi. That was her responsibility. If the Sergeant of Arms wasn't doing enough, it was her responsibility to step in and go, you're not doing enough. We want other people here.
Then if it's her fault, Byron, why haven't we or the government investigated this?
Because it's run by the Democrats right now. They're not going to investigate themselves. Heaven forbid if anything looks bad.
Hang on.
While this
How about an
good stuff is
outside
wrong.
agency? How about the FBI? How about anybody? You see what I'm saying? How come anybody hasn't started investigating this? Even though you may get shot down, why hasn't this a year later and we're still talking about this and nobody has gotten punished over this?
I'm going to tie it right back in when you start talking about the FBI to the Steele dossier is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
The higher-ups in the FBI are not going to investigate anything Democrat right now because they are Democrats. They are politically charged hacks who should be removed and new people appointed. But you're not going to get that right now because you have a certain party in power. Now, that being said, the investigation that went on into that by a district attorney who is you look at this guy's history, he is really good at what he does, and he took a very long time to do it. But some of this is starting to come out now. That dossier is crap. That dossier was planted by the Democrat Party, people in the FBI and the CIA, to basically slander Donald Trump.
Sure it was.
Exactly.
And it's been proven now. You're not hearing anything about this on the media because they're part of it.
Right.
They're duplicit in this. CNN, MSNBC, the whole entire 9 yards, they're not saying anything about apologizing about their false reporting with the Steele dossier. There has been one newspaper, and that's the Washington Post, that came out and said that they reported that wrong. One newspaper. Matter of fact, it's the only place that you heard anything about it at all in the media. I haven't watched Fox in a long time. I don't know if they said anything or not. But that's really the only thing in the true outlets that has said anything at all about this. So you've got this vicious cycle of people up in Washington, D.C. that are in power that are covering themselves. They don't want you as a people to know that, guess what? This is Nancy Pelosi's problem. This is her deal. She could have stopped this completely and utterly. I mean, just completely stopped it. And none of this would have ever happened. You wouldn't have talked about this one poor lady being shot. You would not have talked about people going in and destroying any property inside the Capitol building, inside the Congress. You wouldn't have heard any of this. But it happened, and it's all on Nancy Pelosi's head, or should be, because she is the one that's responsible and grossly negligent for it.
This is a really scary thought, and I knew the answer to that because we talked about that outside. I was just throwing something out there when Dave said the Speaker of the House. This is a really scary thought when we have
Marxist.
one person that's got all this power and she knows it, and nobody seems to be doing a damn thing about it. That is scary, Byron. And look, I understand we have a midterm.
We can do something about it next November. We can give her the boot. And what you can do after that, David, is you can investigate this in committees and make sure she can never hold office again.
And
that is what you can do about it. And that's the power check to it. David, we have had people since the founding of this country that have had that power. The founding, and to me have never, ever grossly misused it like Nancy Pelosi did during this so-called insurrection. She allowed people, I don't care if they're Democrats, Republicans, turnip greens, whatever you want to call them, coming into that building and making a mockery out of it.
Making a mockery out of it,
She allowed it. That's her. I mean, what was she eating her ice cream at home, or was she celebrating Donald Trump being a xenophobic racist in Chinatown? I mean, there's a couple of things. Oh, and by the way, Joe Biden has now put a travel ban on certain places in Africa. Hello, Mr. Xenophobic, racist piece of garbage. Come on. I mean, that's what you call Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's exactly...
And people forget that. I'm not going to forget that because you're full of crap then, just like I am now with calling you that. Because it only makes sense to put bans on travel to places where things like that are coming out of. I mean, unless you're a complete idiot moron, and I mean that with all love and affection. But look, guys, we have some people in power right now in the highest places that are completely and utterly corrupt. Completely and utterly corrupt. Now, am I saying all Democrats are corrupt? No, I'm not, because I'm loving Joe Manchin right now.
Yeah.
He may be one of the very few that's left in that party that has any honor and any common sense at all.
Boy, and aren't they trying to railroad him to death?
They're trying to railroad him.
Yeah, they are.
But these people that are in control, you're talking about Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and whoever else is pulling our president's strings, because he's not the president of the United States. He's not running things. I don't care what anybody says. He can't form a sentence, a coherent sentence, unless a teleprompter's in front of his face, and sometimes he can't do it off a teleprompter. It's really sad. I mean, you have to understand something about when you talk about a president who can't do that. You could say I'm a Republican and I'm not right because I'm making fun of the Democrat president. It's not me you need to worry about. It's the communist Chinese. It's the dictator in Russia right now, who is an ex-KGB agent. Not ex. There's no such thing as an ex-KGB agent.
No, you are a KGB agent.
You want to talk about other people. You want to talk about the mullahs in Iran. There are a ton of places that this can come from that look at the President of the United States and go, this man's not all there. He's not capable of making decisions the way a president should be capable of making decisions. And I'm sorry, but a certain party put him in that spot, and they should be held responsible for that.
Yeah, I'm agree.
And the only way I can tell you to make them responsible is to go out and vote and show your displeasure. Because I'm telling you, not only did they do that with the President of the United States, but you have a Speaker of the House that actually has not done her job. You have a dossier that was put out by the party itself. The DNC put that dossier out during Hillary Clinton's campaign that was malicious lies that have now been proven to be malicious lies, legally proven. Not just somebody's handed you a piece of paper and there it is. This is not accurate. This is an actual state's attorney that's gone in and done this. So now that we have all of this there, are you still going to sit back, and are people still going to sit back and vote party lines? Yes, the answer is yes. They're still going to vote party lines. But there are independents, and there are some Democrats that are going to look at this and go, I can't vote for that. I can't vote for that. I looked at that a long time ago and said I couldn't vote for any of it anymore. But that's me. There are still people who quote unquote toe a liberal mind frame that don't really toe a liberal mind frame, that have intelligence, that understand that these people don't have our best interest at heart. You can go over and over and over the things that are going on, the deficit that's causing all of this, the inflation that's going on right now. I just heard on the news, and this is a minor thing compared to what we were talking about. Do you know that Little Caesars hot and ready pizzas are going up now? They've been $5 forever, and now they're going up to something like $5.55.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's a $5 pizza. Do you know the price of beef has gone through the roof, and our idiot president, our dear president, has actually gone on a rant and a rave about the price of beef and blaming the big beef people for it. He has no clue what he's talking about. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that of this Green New Deal mess that they are trying to implement. And the cattle prices are going up, and the beef prices are going up as a result of it, because guess what? They have to pay the government certain things that are in this Green New Deal. And that is his fault because he's signing this legislation.
And by the way, most of the beef and cattle is owned by China.
Yeah, well, that's
part of it too.
The
Yeah.
land. Yeah.
Yeah, and the land that they graze on.
That's a complete another story.
But it ties into what you're saying now.
There is no foreign country that should be allowed to own that.
You've said it many a times, and so have I.
Especially a communist nation like China. I'm sorry, that just shouldn't happen.
But you know as well as I know they're doing it though.
And then everybody's like, well, he can't control the prices of oil either. Well, yeah, he can too. He could have kept the Keystone Pipeline going.
Can.
He could have not taken the leases away from the places they were already drilling. The price of oil would have continued to go down from where it was. They could have done something about OPEC, that he's begging OPEC to start doing what they should be doing. Well, no, OPEC should be doing what they are doing because OPEC's a different entity that's in it to make money for themselves and their countries. Right. We control what our destiny is with our oil because we're one of the most oil-rich countries in the world. And we sit on our hands and knees because we are going to destroy the world in 20 years. Well, the 20 years has gone by and it's still here. Well, in another 5 years, the 5 years has gone by and we're still here. If you want to make green energy and you want to phase oil out, more power to you if you can do that. I don't have an issue with that at all. But what I do have an issue with is you breaking the economy of this country, and the only power the only power source that we have that's reliable, you're demonizing. And the people who actually manufacture it, make profit off of it, to give to us at a price that people can afford. I'm sorry. People are having a hard time living right now because guess what? Instead of paying $30 to fill your gas tank up, you're paying $50 or $60.
Right.
And people don't have that 4 times a week to actually do that. Some people don't. So, and then you add the beef prices on it, and the price of a pizza on it, and all this other stuff that's going up because of Joe Biden and the Democrats. And people are having an issue with it. We can't control any of it. Yes, you can. You control it with your policies. You saw it happen in the previous president's administration. He controlled that stuff with his policies. And everybody had more money as a result of it. But we have to bow to people who are literally insane about the Earth is going to end because of global warming. They've been told a big lie. It is the big lie.
You know what's fascinating was that there were there were thousands of glaciers when Al Gore said that they were all going to melt. And do you know how many? Do you know how many glaciers there are now compared to that? Same number. Might be a little smaller, and in some cases they got a little bigger. Hasn't changed.
There's more ice in the North Pole right now.
But wait a minute now.
When he was doing all that, I didn't know we were going to have a man bear pig reference tonight. I'm sorry.
Hey,
okay.
so you see all these commercials. Everything's so commercialized, right? So I seen a commercial the other night when I was on vacation, and it said about the polar bears. Have y'all seen that one? About the polar bear habitat. Hey, we got to do something because all the ice glaciers are melting. It's melting away their home. They're not going to have a home. Really? Who's propagandizing that BS? You see what I'm saying? This is another money-driven thing for to lace somebody's pocket.
Okay, now, what use is a polar bear? Can somebody tell me what use a polar bear is?
Besides him being just a part of nature, nothing.
What part of nature what does a polar bear actually form?
No, I'm just talking about part of life. It's a being.
There is, I
know what the comments
Coke.
It warms my heart knowing that
Coke he delivers
Coca-Cola commercials during the winter season. Yes,
yeah,
that's it.
Feeding Native Americans.
Possibly, okay, yeah.
I mean that, or Native, or Indians,
Aleutians and Eskimos, and that sort of thing.
Whatever, however you want to politically correctly say it now. Right. But seriously, what they want to talk about polar bears? Yeah. Polar bears are one of the most fierce animals you will ever see. Oh, they look so cuddly. Go cuddle with one.
Yeah, go cuddle with one and he'll show you.
Go cuddle with a polar bear and you'll find out.
Yeah.
No. Especially if you get near their
yeah.
I hear that all the time too. Oh, the cubs are so cute. Oh,
yeah, okay. Put your hand out there and see how cute he is. Yeah.
Look, okay.
But you see where I'm going with this.
There is a difference between destroying nature and being a good steward of nature, and this craziness that goes on now. I've done it all my life. There is a line you don't cross when you hunt, but there's also a reason for people to hunt because it controls the herd, which controls all sort of problems with different animals.
Right.
You don't control the deer herd. The deer start overpopulating. They end up in your yard. They eat your shrubs. They become a nuisance. And what's even worse is there's so many of them they start causing more and more accidents out on the roads. So there's cause and effect for everything.
Right.
My big problem with it is they always seem to want to take man out of nature. Man is above nature, which is, guess what, about the most arrogant thing you could possibly ever say. You are not above nature. Nature still controls what we do,
right,
how we act, things we do in different seasons. It's just arrogant nonsense is what it is. Sure.
B, I tell you, that was a great topic, great subject. I know we talked a little bit about this as we were getting ready to come on the show. You're exactly right about everything that you said.
I am. That deal with Nancy Pelosi just infuriates me, brother. She allowed a part of our government to be attacked because she refused for optics to use the National Guard and do anything that Donald Trump suggested to do.
I want to take party out of this just real quick, and I want to just throw something to our audience and to you guys here. Let's go back 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Let's just go back that far. Wasn't things running great? Gas prices were down, food prices were stable. Mm-hmm. We had plenty of supplies. There was plenty of things to buy. Hey, everything was on an even keel. Do you not, as a working, supposedly, okay, let me rephrase that, supposedly American working citizen like this or liked that. I just cannot believe that half of the population of our registered voters in the United States voted against what our last president had put in place and kept in place. The economy was thriving.
No.
Everything was working out fairly well.
David, they didn't vote against what you're talking about, David.
No, they didn't, because I was getting ready to say.
They voted against Orange Man make bad tweet.
Right.
That's what they voted against. And I use that like Neanderthal, because if you voted for
that tells me, though,
for
that
this
tells
mess, because you didn't like what his tweets were, you need to seriously think about ever voting again. I don't care.
Well, let me say
if they
this.
say I'm mean or not. If you're voting for somebody because what they say offends you, instead of the results that they are getting to help you and this country, you don't need to vote.
This tells me that people don't care what is happening, and to make their lives better, they don't care. This has become a hate game with everybody. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me, hey, look, I didn't particularly like so-and-so, but he's doing a good job, okay? And he's making our lives better. Hey, if he's making, I'll vote for him because it's helping me out. It's helping my family out. It's helping your family out. It's helping everybody's family out. I don't have to like somebody to vote for them because they're doing a good job. Just because I don't like somebody or like somebody's tweet that they put out there, that doesn't mean you shouldn't vote for them. I don't care if you like them or not, but if they're doing a good job, keep them in office.
Give you a perfect example of that. Bill Clinton's second term.
Yes, and I was just getting ready to say
Bill.
Bill
Perfect
Clinton.
example of that. Bill Clinton had all of those problems with Monica Lewinsky at that point in time.
Yeah.
And the American people still voted him in for second term because he was doing well for this, what he should have done for this country. Now, he had to be dragged kicking and screaming through some of it, but he was still doing it.
Yeah.
And he basically did something he called triangulate, which was go with what the American public wanted. It didn't matter what his line was. He was going to make the American public satisfied so he could be in term again. And that's the way politics in this country had worked up until 3 presidents ago. All of this crap started 3 presidents ago. And I'm going to leave Barry Soetoro out of this because I really don't want to bring him up too much tonight, because I can tell you all sort of parallels that are going on between then and now that scare me half to death, because he's Marxist, communist. His daddy was a Marxist, was a communist. His mentors were communists. His stepfather was a far left socialist. I can keep on going on and on and on about that man. But
Roy Jackson, no, I opened up a daggum can of worms.
Oh, Lord.
You know what Roy Jackson wants me to do?
What?
You've seen it already, didn't you, David? He says, David, say hello to Harry Crackford.
Why did you do that, David? You knew it was coming.
I knew I should have not told the story, but I wanted to tell it. I just thought y'all would get a kick out of the dadgum name. Now everybody wants me to say hello to him. All right, I'll say hello to him the next time I see him.
I'm surprised it didn't come from the White House.
I'm surprised they didn't either.
Look here. I don't care what side of the aisle you come from.
I don't either.
You need to take a look at what's going on right now
Yeah.
and understand that the people that are running this country are incompetent.
Yes, period.
And Democrat, Republican, if they're incompetent, they need
Independent,
to go.
whoever. Yep.
They need to go.
Yep.
There's some Republicans that I feel the same way about.
Me too.
The minority leader in the Senate is one of them. He needs to go. He needs to go a long time ago. He has too many ties to the Communist Chinese. To his wife, period.
B. Great topic tonight, brother. I love you. I love you. Let's get ready to wrap up the show. Michael Heater, how about a little weather? And don't tell me about this pollen mess. Ugh.
Okay. Well, we can have.
He said okay.
We can solve that problem. That's not a problem at all. So forget the pollen. It's bad. I'm feeling the effects of it. That sort of thing.
It's going to rain. Oh, sorry.
I wish it was. That's
I
because
done that in a while.
it is not going to rain in the near future. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to look at some really nice conditions over the next few days. Temperatures around 70, a little bit, kind of varies a little bit like that. Going to drop off into the 60s as we get further into the week. Friday into Saturday, that sort of thing like that. But really nice temperatures across the board. Regionally, you could not ask for better weather. I mean, check it out. Pascagoula cool at 54 degrees, even on the Gulf Coast. Atlanta at 49. These are high temperatures now. Charlotte at 45. Nashville at 46. Of course, Florida, we are the Sunshine State. This is where everybody wants to be. Forget about the governor. They're talking about the sun. Looking at 73 degrees in Orlando. Locally for us, we're going to be in the 70s as well. Looking at temperatures right around 74, 70 as you get through Thursday. Dropping off again as a cold front comes through. It's going to be a dry front. We're looking at partly cloudy skies on Friday. But for the most part, comfortable temperatures. If you're feeling kind of bold, you want to crack a window open, you'll be able to enjoy some nice temperatures in the 40s as we go through the next 3 days. All in all, though, it is going to be a really good next several days. I cannot deal with these guys. I can't do it. I try. I really do. I just,
Hey, let me ask you something. That's a great weather report, Mike. Let me ask you something. Did you say crack?
You can crack a window open.
Oh, boy, you can crack a window open.
You can crack a window open. It just depends on how hairy you are.
Or don't let Harry crack that window. Don't let Harry crack that window.
Oh, yeah, I forgot my book. Cheap tonight.
All right, what you got real quick, B?
Last side comment.
Yeah.
Keep your hands off of our governor if you were somewhere else and you
Yeah.
wanted to run for president. Please stop that. I would love to see him run for president, but not right now. Please let him
Let him be.
have one more term
Yeah.
here. Please. He is doing a great job for Florida. Thank you, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. Hey, Dave, you got anything real quick? All right, Michael, you got anything real quick?
We're good.
Just a special Monday night show. We're going to break down the national championship game.
The pick.
Well, no, we'll do it Monday
We're doing it
because we'll do it Monday right there.
show.
We'll have everybody on during the show on behalf of the Byron Bagwell, Super Dave Holland, Michael Heater filling in for Mr. Mitchell Gunner. I'm David Rodgers, your host. God bless you guys. Love each and every one of you. Special Monday night show breaking down the national championship game. Hey, we may even have a little prize thing going on with that. We'll come up with something. I've got a little something for our audience to get involved in with the national championship game.
Yes, sir.
God bless you guys. Good night. Happy New Year 2022 to you. I hope it's off to a great start. God bless you guys.
Good night, everybody.